This is your News Source Evening Bulletin for today, Thursday, the 18th day of October in the year 2018. Here's what we're tracking tonight. President David Granger was back at the Parliament this afternoon to address the National Assembly, and he laid out his government plans to moving the country forward. In an address that went on for close to an hour, the President said Budget 2019, which will be presented next month, will focus even more on his administration's development plans.
You can rest assured that your government will support the Assembly in providing oversight over the work of the Executive and in the debate and passage of key pieces of legislation for 2019. Guyanese could expect confidently that by the end of 2019, they would be able to live in a state with more secure borders, in communities that are safer, in an economy that is more resilient, in a society that is more cohesive, with public services that are more accessible, and constitutional agencies and institutions which enjoy the confidence and respect of the public.
Turning to the oil and gas sector, President Granger noted that as Guyana prepares for first oil in 2020, his government has moved to ensure all systems are in place for the sector that is expected to transform the country and the economy.
Oil production is expected to begin in 2020 and will be the most transformative economic development in our recent history. Your government is taking steps to ensure that the revenues which accrue from this sector will not be squandered, but instead will be invested strategically in building human and institutional capacity, addressing our infrastructural deficit, and providing economic security for future generations.
The President also touched on the area of crime and security, pointing out that the two remain challenges that are being continuously addressed by the administration.
The security of our citizens is paramount. Your government is reforming the security sector to ensure safer communities and to protect investments. We do not underestimate the seriousness of the public security challenges which we face, but equally, no one should underrate our resolve to make our country safer. The security sector has not fully recovered from the damage done during the period which I refer to as the Troubles. Your government is committed through security sector reform to restore integrity to the police force.
President Granger also spoke about how his government has improved local democracy with the hosting of local government elections. The second local government election since he took office is set to take place next month. More news coming up in just a moment.
This Christmas, get a loan for your dream car with an extended repayment term. Spruce up your home with that renovation you always wanted and take advantage of low or no down payment. Get new appliances so you can cook up a storm. You'll get same-day approval. Plus, you can win a getaway to a destination of your choice. Visit RepublicGuyana.com today to find out how.
Republic Bank. We're the one for you.
Get ready to ride it, ride it. Ready to ride it, ride it, ride it, ride it, ride it, ride the wave. Open up the new vibe, drink up the boldness inside. Radical and fresh and wild. Catch the wave now. Ride bold, ride fresh, ride strong. Come on, ride the wave. Taste the action, satisfaction, perfection. Wave, 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 wave.
Ride the new wave of excitement sweeping Guyana. Wave Pale Ale, a premium, full-bodied, strong and refreshing alcoholic brew, crafted to perfection for a bold, young, radical you. Don't settle for anything less. Catch a Wave Pale Ale and ride it today.
Wave Pale Ale,
crafted to perfection.
Experience our future together at the inaugural Green Guyana Expo and International Small Business Summit, Guyana National Stadium, October 18th to the 20th. Guyana's first-of-a-kind expo supporting the Green State Development Strategy for building the world's first green economy. See and learn how we will protect our environment, preserve our biodiversity, promote the use of renewable energy, and adapt to climate change. The Green Guyana Expo and International Small Business Summit, October 18th to the 20th, Guyana National Stadium, Providence. Start your journey at greenguyana.gov.gy or at Green Guyana on social media.
Welcome back. Before the president arrived to address the National Assembly this afternoon, there were 3 different protests over different issues on the outside of Parliament. The PPP and sugar workers were on one side protesting the closure of sugar estates. The APNU was on the other side protesting against the opposition leader and the PPP. And the Rastafari community found themselves in the middle, wanting both sides to free up the herb, legalize small amounts of marijuana. Some of the dreadlock protesters said it is time for the National Assembly to put legislation in place that will not see them being jailed for small amounts of marijuana.
Legalize marijuana. They're saying that they're going to free up a small amount. So we want to know who they assign or who we going to forget the small amount. Now better plant my own couple plants in my own yard, which don't make sense. Non-chemical herbs I telling you about, none of people spray up. So when they're saying they're going to legalize a small amount, who we going to forget the small amount?
This is where you can walk in the store and buy a pack of cigarettes and a bottle of alcohol. Just to be able to go and walk in the store and buy a pack or ounce of weed or something like that. It's an equilibrium. This is all we're looking for. The same rights cigarette and alcohol got, the same rights weed must got. You understand?
Man raping little children and getting bail. Rape man getting bail. And the Gazi man is no bail. And they getting bail.
Brother Mosley, I am Ras Simeon Sali Selassie, President of the Guyana Rastafari Council. I is out here today demanding Rastafari rights and privilege, ethnic justice and equality. I see it fitting that the government change the laws of Guyana and exempt Rastafari from going to prison because I practice and I culture according to the Constitution of Guyana, freedom of worship.
On the other side, sugar workers and PPP supporters were more concerned about the remaining severance that is owed to them. They want to know when the government will pay up, complaining that times have become tough.
So everybody can go to the Guyana severance. It's very hard. Work nowadays you can't go nowhere so you get in a job because first people turn down you. You can't get a proper job. So let the president, if you can please pay the severance pay, we will love that. Thank you.
Well, it's starvation. The people, they not get work. The children not get to go to school. If you see where we live in, we don't have lights, don't have roads. And children, how much are going to school? When the rain falling and cannot come out, just fall down, get up. And it's just a little comment to you.
And dressed in green, several protesters came out in support of the government, saying that the opposition needs to stop opposing all of the government's plans.
Hello, President, we don't want to see Jagdo here. We want to see our president. Jagdo has failed us. He's been incompetent. We're dealing with a government with great trust and integrity. We don't want to see Jagdo here. He's incompetent. His administration is highly incompetent.
3 years, but from 23 to 3 years. Look at the difference. Look at the city here, it's clean. The Jagdo minister said, then they go break out. And everybody again.
This is a government with trust and integrity.
When he went to the center, Joe taking away everybody. Nobody's gay. And you could smile again, you could walk. You could walk in Parliament without taking nothing, without taking plastic cups.
On the outside too, opposition leader Barrett Jagdew and PNC chairman and member of parliament Valdo Lawrence spent some time speaking with protesters. Later, Mr. Jagdew complained about the long delay to pay the sugar workers their severance packages.
At the bottom of the ad, it says 7.5 billion has been placed in supplementary. It's only a fraction of that is for sugar workers severance. So it creates the impression that the government is seeking supplementary provision of 7.5 billion for sugar workers.
President Granger also greeted the protesters on his way out. But let's tell you now that the appeal court today dismissed the challenge by the PPP to the president's appointment of the Elections Commission chairman. In a unanimous decision, the court said that although the president could choose from the list provided by the opposition leader, the Constitution allows him to make the appointment. Attorney Anil Nandlal was not too happy with the court's decision. He said he intends to take the case all the way to the Caribbean Court of Justice.
Well, first of all, let me say that I am not surprised. I am disappointed, but not surprised. This is yet another case that shows how far more our judiciary has to mature, because it is part of a trend. All the cases that are deeply political are decided in a particular way, and that has to change.
But Attorney General Senior Counsel Basil Williams said he is happy with the ruling and he is prepared to continue defending the government's position all the way to the CCJ if that's where the opposition wants to go.
The decision vindicates us. We said it's only the president could appoint a chairman of TCOM. So wherever you go, at the end of the day, the process would have to restart, and it won't change the leader of the opposition. It will still be the president of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, who is Brigadier David Arthur.
The judges on the appeal court said there was nothing to suggest that the president acted unlawfully or illegally in his decision to appoint retired Justice James Patterson to head the Elections Commission. And finally this evening, the government is holding firm to its position that there will be no increases in the tolls at the Berbice River Bridge. And the Attorney General's Chambers has advised the Minister of Public Infrastructure that he is on firm footing with his decision to refuse the planned increases by the bridge company. Minister of Public Infrastructure David Patterson met with the Attorney General Chambers yesterday and later indicated that he will not be giving any permission to the bridge company to increase the tolls. The Berbice Bridge Company wants new tolls to go in place by the 12th of November. The increases will be as much as over 300% in some instances. The government has rejected the increases and has said they will not be allowed. Yesterday, Opposition Leader Barra Jagdeo also rejected the planned increases by the bridge company. He said the increases would be unlawful. According to Mr. Jagdeo, under the law, it is the Minister of Public Infrastructure who would have to give final approval. So once that approval is not granted, the bridge company cannot move ahead with any increases. The Berbice River deal was signed under the Jagdeo presidency. The former president said yesterday that he still thinks the deal was a good one, and based on the toll structure that was left in place in the contract, there ought not be any steep toll increases. The opposition leader also said he believes the sudden announcement by the bridge company may be politically motivated. The government has said the same thing. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting.